हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू टुडेज वीडियो। बहुत दिन से वीडियो नहीं आई थी। लोग पूछ रहे थे क्या हो गया, 2 हफ्ते से वीडियो नहीं आई है। आई वॉज बिजी विद सम वर्क, बट टुडे वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक, ऑपरेशंस। ऑपरेशंस और सप्लाई चेन के बारे में हम बात करने वाले हैं। हम जानने वाले हैं ऑपरेशंस और सप्लाई चेन स्पेशलाइजेशन किन बंदों के लिए है, कैसे आप सिलेक्ट करोगे कि ऑपरेशंस एंड सप्लाई चेन इज द थिंग फॉर यू, कैसे आप जानोगे कि ऑपरेशंस एंड सप्लाई चेन इज समथिंग दैट यू शुड डू। सो आई एम पर्सनली वेरी enthusiastic about operations and supply chain, and I have spent most of my career doing operations and supply chain, so I can be a good person in experience to tell you what operations and supply chain is all about. मेरा एक इंडिविजुअल वीडियो है व्हाट इज ऑपरेशंस मैनेजमेंट करके, उस पर आप चले जा सकते हो, देख सकते हो, बट इस वीडियो में मैं स्पेशलाइजेशन के बारे में बात करने वाला हूँ। तो जब आप ऑपरेशंस एंड सप्लाई चेन स्पेशलाइजेशन बोलते हो तो आप क्या क्या कवर करते हो? बेसिकली आप इंटायर वैल्यू चेन, इंटायर सप्लाई चेन ऑफ अ गुड, मतलब बेसिकली फ्रॉम सोर्सिंग एक प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस जब आप डिलीवर करते हो, फ्रॉम सोर्सिंग ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट, सोर्सिंग ऑफ द रॉ मटेरियल्स टू रॉ मटेरियल प्रोक्योरमेंट टू रॉ मटेरियल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन इनटू सेमी फिनिश्ड गुड्स, then finally storing that inventory of semi-finished goods, planning your demand, understanding the demand, according to that produce your goods, manufacturing process, post which storage of the inventory that has got manufactured, that is again finished goods inventory, FG inventory, finally dispatch and logistics, and finally to the point of sales, and finally the sales. This entire, and when a product sells according to that demand, further catering to the need by proper production, proper raw material synchronization, supply, and maintaining continuous stock to cater to the demand. That's the game of supply chain and that's the game of operations. अब बहुत लोग confused हो जाते हैं, supply chain क्या है, operations क्या है. So let me tell you, supply chain is a broader spectrum of things. Like the entire value chain that I talked about, that is the supply chain of a good. When I talk about step by step from raw material sourcing to raw material procurement to storing of the raw materials, producing the finished goods, storing the finished goods, catering to the demand, understanding the demand, and finally dispatching or handling logistics according to the demand, and finally selling it off. That is the entire supply chain. When I talk about operations in particular, they are individual functions of the supply chain, like manufacturing operations, logistics operations. So these are operations. Operations means regular business as usual activities that make the supply chain running, and how to derive efficiency into those processes. अगर आप logistics कर रहे हो, forward logistics कर रहे हो, या returns or backward logistics कर रहे हो, very very important, right? How do you manage that logistics effectively? How do you minimize the prices? How do you derive maximum throughput or output based on the prices that you are paying? So efficiency improvement, throughput improvement, process improvement, overall delivering greater value in the same point of time with the same amount of resources is what operations takes care of. So यहाँ पे 4-5 हेडर्स आ जाते हैं जब मैं सप्लाई चेन की बात करता हूँ। सप्लाई चेन की पहले बात करूंगा, सप्लाई चेन में क्या क्या स्किल्स लगते हैं और क्या क्या हेडर्स आ जाते हैं। सप्लाई चेन में बेसिकली अंडरस्टैंडिंग योर प्रोडक्ट लाइफ साइकिल, अंडरस्टैंडिंग हाउ योर प्रोडक्ट इज प्रोक्योर्ड स्टेप बाय स्टेप, अंडरस्टैंडिंग द प्रोसेस end to end is the work of a supply chain manager. You might be working on a single function of a supply chain and streamlining both the sides of it, but you should know very well कि वो supply chain flow कैसे होता है, from the back end to the front end flow कैसे होता है. Supply chain is extremely important to understand if you are going into supply chain management. तो supply chain management उन्हीं बंदों को करना चाहिए जिनको इस process related चीज़ों में इंटरेस्ट है, प्रोडक्ट रिलेटेड चीज़ों में इंटरेस्ट अगर, तो प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट और प्रोडक्ट मार्केटिंग में आपको जाना चाहिए. अगर प्रोसेस रिलेटेड इंटरेस्ट है कि प्रोसेस कैसे फ्लो कर रहा है, कैसे गुड्स ट्रैवल कर रही है, लॉजिस्टिक्स कैसे ऑप्टिमाइज कर सकते हैं, कैसे स्टोरेज ऑप्टिमाइज कर सकते हैं, इन्वेंट्री को कम से कम कैसे रख सकते हैं, कैपिटल को फ्री कैसे कर सकते हैं, कैसे प्रोडक्शन को ऑप्टिमाइज कर सकते हैं, कैसे डिमांड प्लानिंग कर सकते हैं, ऑल ऑफ दीज पार्ट आर पार्ट ऑफ supply chain. Supply chain basically consists of again analytical models broadly, again where you plan the inventory. One is inventory planning, supply chain का one of the biggest parts inventory planning होता है. Secondly, logistics planning, very important. Here you learn about the traveling salesman problem, the milk run model, all of the popular logistics model. So logistics optimization, storage optimization, which is inventory optimization, manufacturing optimization, which is again a part of operations and supply chain combined. Fourth is inward logistics optimization, that is raw material procurement. Fifth is reverse logistics optimization. Sixth is warehouse operation optimization. All of these are part of operations and supply chain. अभी उसमें एक इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है प्रेडिक्टिव एनालिटिक्स, लाइक डिमांड फोरकास्टिंग, टाइम सीरीज मॉडलिंग. लाइक you have seen this much demand on quarter 1 of previous year. What is the demand that you are forecasting for this month? Given the trend element, given the seasonality element, given the market conditions, given the competitors, given the progress in business, given the current resources you are having, all of that combined, what is the prediction, and based on that, what are you planning to supply? So all of that is again demand forecasting, predictive analytics are part of the supply chain model. जब मैं ऑपरेशंस में आ जाता हूँ, ऑपरेशंस में क्या बात करता हूँ मैं? मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के बारे में बात करता हूँ, एफिशिएंसी के बारे में बात करता हूँ, थ्रूपुट के बारे में बात करता हूँ, स्टॉक टर्न के बारे में बात करता हूँ, सेल थ्रू के बारे में बात करता हूँ. ऑल ऑफ दीज टर्म्स यू शुड बी फैमिलियर विद व्हेन यू आर स्टडिंग ऑपरेशंस मैनेजमेंट. दैट इज यू आर मेकिंग योर ऑपरेशंस more effective. Like suppose the same amount of time with the same amount of resources, I am now producing more units of goods. How do I do that? How do I increase my speed of production? How do I increase my throughput of production? That is same input, more output. So given amount of time में ज़्यादा produce करना और given resources में ज़्यादा produce करना. All of these are operations optimization, process optimizations. तो ये सब operations के part हो गए. Operations optimize करने के लिए क्या क्या important हो गया? एक quality बहुत important हो गया कि defects को मैं एकदम nil कर दूँ ताकि मेरे defects negligible हो जाए तो मेरा process more efficient बन जाए. This is again done through Six Sigma process, where you are reducing the variations and you are reducing the defects. Second is lean processes, where you reduce the waste activities and you only focus on the value added activities. तो आपका operations में एक और fundamental हो गया कि lean manufacturing का concept. फिर आपके theory of constraints आ गए, like weakest chain in the supply, weakest link in the supply chain, you try to attack that, solve the bottleneck so that you can optimize the operations and then focus on the next bottleneck. So like this, there are several theories on which supply chain and operations are based on, which contains a lot of data crunching in terms of predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics, descriptive analytics, and most importantly diagnostic analytics, that is root cause analysis. All of this Six Sigma or lean or theory of constraints are trying to find the root cause of the problem in a supply chain, of the problem in an operation, and hence solving that bottleneck to increase the efficiency of the supply chain, efficiency of operations. So अगर आपको ये सब चीज़ों में इंटरेस्ट है, अगर आपको डायग्नोस्टिक एनालिटिक्स में इंटरेस्ट है, रूट कॉज में जाना, लोगों के साथ बात करना, उसको सॉल्व करना, रिमेंबर ऑपरेशंस इज फॉर दोज गाइज हु love to go to factories, love to go to industries. If you are from a product background, if you are from a service background, you have to interact regularly with the people that deliver the service front end and people where you procure the service from the back end. So it's a back end to movement kind of a process where you are acting as an interaction in the supply chain. So you need to know all the nodes of the process, as I told in the beginning. If you're interested in the process and if you really want to solve the problem, because see, marketing, what it does, tries to increase your sales by every possible means. But remember, somebody great said, 1 penny earned is not 1 penny saved. If you today increase your revenue by 100 rupees, you will only be able to gain maybe a 20 rupees in that. 80 rupees is still your cost, right? So 100 rupees gain in revenue is only causing 20 rupees gain in profit, और पैसा घर में 20 रुपए आ रहा है. But 100 rupees saved is purely 100 rupees saved, and that is what operations does. Very, very important. Remember this, guys. First thing told in MBA in management classes, marketing increases your top line, operations and supply chain saves your bottom line. And top line means revenue, bottom line means cost of operations, cost of goods sold, cost of logistics. All of this reduce करके एक efficient stage में ले आना और simultaneously revenue को marketing बढ़ाता है, visibility को marketing बढ़ाता है. जो ये portion है ना, revenue बढ़ गया, कॉस्ट रिड्यूस हो गया. जो ये जो पोर्शन है ना, ये आपका प्रॉफिट है. तो ये आपके कॉस्ट को रिड्यूस करता है, ये आपके पेनी को सेव करता है, ये आपके टोटल रेवेन्यू को बढ़ाता है. मार्केटिंग, प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट, ऑल ऑफ दिस increases your revenue. So operations is equally important. In fact, more important is the backbone of any company. So if you are really interested into process management, if you are really interested into understanding the value chain of a product, where and how it travels from, if you are interested in all those domains, supply chain and operations is the place for you. Many people by mistake say that if you are from the manufacturing background, then you should go to operations. Not necessarily. Not many people from the manufacturing background or from the core industry background find operations or supply chain as interesting. This is your call that you have to take. Not necessarily if you are from the core background or from the manufacturing background, you need to go into operations. There is no sacrosanct rule like that. It is up to your interest. If you don't find interest into going into factory, talking to to people, talking to the industry people, understanding the value chain, process optimization, maybe this is not the place for you, because we are trying to save the operational costs. And if you're only interested in that, then only it is suitable for you. You have to decide for yourself. I can only give you the basic picture. That was it about operations and supply chain as a specialization. If you have any questions, please post it in the comment section. Remember that I am giving a one-to-one discussion sessions. I'm hosting coaching classes. I am hosting counseling sessions, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. You can block my calendar. Link is in the description box. Link is also pinned in the comments, so you can do that right away if you want to talk to me. And if you like it, share it with your friends, like it, subscribe to the channel. यार सब्सक्राइबर्स बढ़ ही नहीं रहे, मैं भी थोड़ा कंटेंट में ढीला कर रहा हूँ, बट आप लोग भी साथ नहीं दे रहे हो. 9,000 पहुंचा दो, 10,000 पहुंचा दो. 10K celebration I want to do on this channel soon with you guys. If you need regular updates, many videos like this will keep on coming. Hit the bell icon for regular updates on the channel. That's it for today from my side. Thank you very much. Signing off.